All right, guys. Morning. This is post chest and bicep day, and I don't know what happened. I had a little something, maybe like a 24-hour bug or something. I don't know what it was, but I was down. What is today? Today is Thursday. Tuesday, I was down and out from the gym. I was feeling awful, and then yesterday, I ended up working so much that I couldn't make it to the gym. So I had 2 days off, which never, ever happens. I never take more than a day off. And my days off are kind of very sparse. Even though I say I do 4 on, 1 off, 4 on, 1 off, if I'm still feeling good, I'll just keep going. And then if I start feeling like I'm not going to making any progress, I'll just make it to the next technical day off and I take it, right? But 2 days off from the gym. Now, some people would be kind of down about that, but I try to see everything as an opportunity. So the opportunity that I seen was the joints, tendons, ligaments, all that stuff, right? They're getting a little bit of a break, right? And I'm getting, even since I'm in a cut, even though I'm keeping my calories low, I'm getting to do like a sort of refuel, right? So there's no breakdown of the muscle for these 2 days. So my body's just getting to just do nothing but recover. So I had a ton of sleep, good, good quality food. And let me tell you, when I went to the gym, well, first off, before I go into this, so the past 2 days, I've been on a Eric Bugenhagen video watching, uh, what do you call it? Like binge watching all of his videos. And not just his lifts, but just, he just did a podcast here recently. And so I was just watching some of his stuff and I got to thinking about it, and he made a pretty good point that, you know, when you're going there, it should be like just go. Like you don't need to think about it. People overcomplicate it. And I do that. I'm already like I'd say like 85, 95% of the time I'm doing that. You know what I mean? I don't think, oh, is it heavy? Can I hit it? There is none of that. There's no doubt. There's no questioning. It's just a simple I do or I fail, right? And either way, even if I fail, I still do it in some way, shape, or form. But something about it just re-energized me. You know what I mean? Like it just got me fueled up. And so when I got into the gym this morning, I said, you know what? Let's really just let it go. So that's what I did. I just went in there. I knew what I needed to get done, and I just went after it. What I did change up though, he mentioned something very, very kind of important, and he's actually mentioned it in a few videos. And one of his videos where he's doing like his new analysis of like different YouTubers doing their best back exercise, their best chest exercise, whatever. He does mention that lengthened partials are really, really good for building up a ton of strength and muscle, and getting a ton of muscle tear, right? At the bottom position, not at the top. So we're not doing partials from, we're not half repping a squat from, top to the middle. What he's talking about doing is like when you're doing like a chest fly and you're opening up your chest and you let it all the way stretch open, you're going to come up right to the point where it gets, where the weight's starting to come off of the chest. Because at some point, your skeletal structure, your bone, you know what I mean? Like you're going to lock your elbow out and the weight's not really being used. You're not really using the muscle to hold the weight. You know what I mean? So he's talking about just really stretching it, opening up the chest on a chest fly with dumbbells, and you come up and you stop right before the chest gets to take a break. And you just keep hammering it, right? And he mentioned something kind of that I really had not analyzed before. When I watch a ton of old school bodybuilders. I mean, because they don't have all the fancy equipment. They didn't have all the the advancements that we have now. when you go back decades. And a lot of them were hitting partials and the length, bottom end partials. You look at Ronnie Coleman. I mean, when he was doing his squats, he's just 3/4 repping. He's never really locking out. You look at when he's doing his bench press, it's kind of not a ton of range of motion, but the tension is so high because he's not letting his chest get a break. You just look at a ton of Tom Platz would do partials in every single portion of the exercise. So for him, it was a little different. I mean, you can see him doing pull-ups. You see that video everywhere where he's doing he's doing partials from the top. I'd say a quarter down. But he was, if you really analyze his workouts, he was trying to target every portion of the exercise. It wasn't like he would always just do the top end, the easy part, And even then, when you say it's easy, if you really look at him, I mean, he was having a guy pretty much like lift him. He really was just trying to move. I mean, the tension on his back must have been insane. To not even be able to move yourself and have to have somebody just sit there and spot you as you're doing pull-ups like that. And, I'd been doing a very Dorian Yates style training, where I'm counting everything, hitting the weight, hitting the reps, and it's working really well. Like my body's really adjusting. It's really taking off very well from that. But you never know what you're missing out on if you don't try it. So today, I did my normal sets still, just like I always do. I need to hit. So, if I did, like for example, today was chest. So on incline last like 4 or 5 days ago, whatever it was, I guess it'll be last week, I did 105s for, I have to go back and look at the rep range again. I did 105s, I think it was around 8. And so today, it was 110 pound dumbbells. My goal was 8. I got 7. That's what you guys see. You guys see me get 7. You'll see it here in a little bit when I get the video out. Then camera goes off, and I was thinking about it, and then I heard, Eric in the back of my head just saying, just freaking do it. You know what I mean? So, when Eric, when Mr. Bugenhagen tells you to hit it, you got to go back and go after the weights. So, pick up the 110s again. I tried to get another 4 more. I was really, trying to get around that 12 rep range if I could. I got 3, so I got to 10 in total, with 110. So I'll call that a win. And that's the thing, you guys. So a lot of times, y'all see it as, oh, I was supposed to, I hit 105 for 8 on dumbbell incline last week. I need to hit 105 for 9 or 10, or I need to hit 110 for 8 or 6, or whatever you're in your head, you're saying this is what I need to do. And you think, oh, I didn't make it, and you think, oh, I failed. Well, what in the hell? You didn't fail. You only fail if you stop right there. Now, if you cut that set there, that's not good. That's not going to happen. What you got to do is, if you miss your set, right, the rep range, the weight, whatever it is you were trying to shoot for, and you don't make it, you need to find a way to go beyond it. Now that can be rest pause, that can be negatives, that can be assisted reps, cluster sets. I don't think I've ever mentioned cluster sets on here yet. So a cluster set is when you do mini sets inside of one big set. So if you can't do 110 for 8, right? Or 110 for on dumbbell incline for 12, or whatever it is you want to do, but you want to get that heavy weight for the good amount of reps, you could do a cluster set. So that means you're going to take the 110s, you're going to hit 3. You're going to set them down. You're going to rest for a little bit. Pick them back up, 3. Set them down, rest for a bit. Pick them back up, 3. Set them down, rest for a bit. And you're going to keep doing those until you get to that 12 rep mark, right? And then at that point, I mean, you should be like really pushing it. Really have a lot of tension on the chest. Really be like questioning every single rep when you're getting it up. Can I go again? Well, don't question it, just do it. But how is a cluster set beneficial? Well, it allows you to pick up a ton of weight for a good amount of, for what you couldn't do normally through a normal set. You can now go beyond that by breaking it up into chunks. Now, I'm not talking about like, you do 3 and you rest for a minute on your phone. Like you don't pick up your phone and start hanging out and, checking your text messages and no. I don't even want you to even check the next song. You should already have your freaking playlist picked out. If you're into the tunes when you're in the gym, you need to have it dialed in. Or you need to have a headphone where you can just tap and skip it real quick. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like 5-10 seconds. You feel blood shooting back into the bicep. It's just, and then you're like, okay, 3 more. You just hammer them out, and then you just you can feel the blood kind of come back in. You're catching your breath. 3 more. I mean, these aren't supposed to be easy sets. I think people forget that, progression and getting better and pushing yourself and getting a better physique, it's about going farther than what you've already gone. The goal is always progression. Always, 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 always. In some way, shape, or form, it needs to be in some aspect of your lifting fitness journey, there needs to be progression. So just don't forget, because after I've been watching a ton of his videos, that you need to really push it. He talks about it a lot. Just get in there, be intense, and just be consistent with it. Like just stick with it and make it happen. Like don't. Now I'm not saying like you need to pull a deadlift with the crappiest form you can to get that last rep. I'm not talking about doing some crappy form and then hurting yourself. Because if you hurt yourself, you just set yourself back a lot. You know what I mean? Weeks and months maybe. I'm not talking about bottoming out on a squat with a ton of weight you can't do, or and then you throw your lower back out, or you hurt your knees. Like use some common sense with it, but really hammer it. Like just push it. And that right there will get you pretty far on its own without having to know a ton about, the proper setting, the technique experts, you know what I mean? Like it's like you need to really just focus on really, stretching the chest and connecting your soul to your outer pec. I'm telling you right now, if you pick up some heavy, heavy ass weight and you go down with it, you don't have to sit there and think about, oh, is my outer chest stretching? Your chest is going to freaking tell you, like, oh yeah, like the chest is opening up. Like there's no question about it. You don't have to think about, oh, I need to really just set my elbows back and allow the chest to open up and hit a 2-second pause. And just there's something to be said about just getting after it and going crazy with it. You know what I mean? In a controlled manner, like just hammering it. That's what I love about that's why I love when I watch guys. I like watching Dorian Yates, because I mean his was just so much just control. When he's hitting those Nautilus pull down machines, man, just freaking, you just see the pain he's enjoying every freaking second of it as he's squeezing his back. You look at like Tom Platz when he's hitting squats, and you can he doesn't care about, oh, am I going to hit the next rep? He doesn't even question it. He just does it. And then he just, he might dump the bar and lay on the floor for, a minute or two. Or you look at like, Eric Bugenhagen. I mean, he's just picking up some heavy ass weight, and then you can just see the effort. I love stuff like that. And for me, that's why there's a ton of, and I'm just talking about these 3 guys, but there's a ton of more people that have this intensity in the gym. And that's the guys I love to watch, because yeah, you can go in there and you can do, the 30s and do like a real slow and controlled chest fly and, get some muscle damage. But what if you can pick up the 70s? Or the 60s or the 55s or whatever your weight is. Like if you could double that and still hit the same amount of reps in like a controlled manner, but you're just tearing the muscle. Why would you choose to go to like a super lightweight where it's, you know, you kind of get to the point where you can't go all the way open with the chest, or you can't really lock out, and that's when you just set them down your knees and you call that your failure set because it got hard to lock out. No, whenever what I call a working set is if it's a barbell or something like that, like I need a spotter or I need pins because like I I tell people all the time when they spot me, like, listen guys, like they're like, well, how many reps you want to do? How many, what's the plan? I I always tell them my plan is I don't know if I'm gonna hit 3 or if I'm gonna hit 30. When you hear me just go, yep, like help, it's because I no longer can move the weight. And there's something to be said about that. Because that's when me doing this I tried the Arnold program where it was a ton of volume and lightweight, and I just became this like I was really vascular, right? Like I had veins coming out everywhere, but I was tiny. I had no muscle mass. Like I had some definition, but I had like really no muscle mass. I was 30 pounds, 40 pounds lighter than I am now. And that's a big difference. So just don't be scared to go super hard. Just be smart about it. Like if you're gonna get in a bench press, especially at normal gyms where they don't have safety pins, look around for the one guy who's in the middle of a rest in between his sets, and he's just chilling on his phone, and go up to him and be like, "Hey man, I'm about to bury this. I'm about to bury this weight on top of me. Can you come over here and just kind of pick it up whenever I can't do anymore?" And like 95.8% of the time, they're going to be like, "Oh, hell yeah." Everybody in the gym, for the most part, that I can tell, at least in my gym, does not mind helping people go beyond what they can, right? You know what I mean? We're all there for one reason, and you really think about it, and that's to get better. So if you have no safety pins, just grab someone that's not in the middle of a set, and you can tell that they're kind of just relaxing, and that can pick up the weight. Because if they can't pick it up, I mean, then you're in a pickle there, right? Because it's gonna be you and him, and he's curling, and you're pressing, and it's not going anywhere. Or get into like an actual rack with some safety pins and just freaking go. You know what I mean? Just put it right to the bottom where you can just set it down if you had to, where you wouldn't get hurt. Same thing with incline. If you're coming up to here, set your safety pin right here, and then when you can't do anymore, you just doop. It's not that hard, guys, to go. You don't. If you're working out by yourself, don't use that as an excuse to not go hard. Don't use that as an excuse not to go hard, because that right there is just another mental barrier you gave yourself. But I'm going to end it here because I think I've pretty much hammered everything I've wanted to talk about this morning for the most part. So be intense. Get after it. If you haven't jumped up in some way, shape, or form in progression in some aspect of your fitness journey, let's freaking make it happen. All right? Let's just freaking make it happen. Because I don't want you guys to be sitting here being stagnant. We're all going to be making growth together. So let's just freaking get after it. All right, guys. That's it. Chad's out. Endless potential. We got it. More videos coming soon.